Hey, how you doing there again, folks? You get, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler very serious videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie, I found a weird cola to try. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? What happens to be my Static X shirt. One of my few that I have. If you're unfamiliar with the band Static X, I've certainly yammered on about them any number of times in my reviews. I'm a big fan. They are a band that came out in sort of like the mid-90s, eventually sort of took up kind of an industrial, sort of new metal kind of vibe. Really sort of, gained prominence in the late 90s, early 2000s, definitely their sort of, heyday. They had their debut album, Wisconsin Death Trip, which to this day is still very well regarded. And, I mean, just an incredible band, incredible experience if you ever get to see them perform live. Sadly, I never personally got to see the band live when they had their original frontman, Wayne Static. He sadly passed away about a decade ago at the time I'm doing this review. So I got to see them when they decided to do the Project Regeneration and, kind of came on with the character of Zero, sort of an homage to the character, the person that was Wayne Static, and kind of carry on his legacy. Some people have kind of found it in poor taste. I personally think it's very cool, but, different strokes for different folks. I've seen them perform live a number of times. I've actually got videos of said performances. They're on this channel as well, just in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction as far as their music goes, because I think they're an incredible band. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Interesting cola, eh? Yep, so I went out to a place just over the weekend called Rocket Fizz, which is this cool little like soda and candy shop. They specialize in having interesting stuff that some folks were just like, hey, what's this guy doing? Yeah, go away. But no, like I said, went out to Rocket Fizz, and it's a place I really like to go. I've picked up any number of things to review from there over the years, and I really wanted to find some colas to try, and well, it's boom! It is Pig Iron Cola, which I guess it's produced on the authority of Pig Iron Barbecue. So I guess it's from a barbecue place? And it's produced, though, by Orca Beverages, who basically, as far as I understand, they're a company that they make, they produce, vintage colas and off-brand sodas and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool. But let's get a thing for this thing. Maybe that thing. Maybe. Let's give it a go. You'd think in the year 2024, people would realize, hey, if somebody's just got their phone up or something in their car, maybe they're just recording something or watching something. Yet you still get some people who are like, what's that guy doing? It's like, I'm in a parking lot, fuck off. It smells like a cola. It smells like a weird cola. Let's give it a go. Ooh. Okay, that's not bad. I like that. Tastes a little thinner than a Pepsi or a Coke. Not quite. It doesn't have quite the same texture, to the drinking experience, but it's definitely not lacking in flavor. Although I will say, compared to something like Coke or even Pepsi, it feels a little bit more one note. It's got a less dimension, but there is some cool stuff going on there. It almost has a fruitiness to it, I don't know, almost there's kind of a very mild citrus or something to it. But yeah, it definitely has a fruitier profile than like a Coke or a Pepsi does. And when I say that, I'm not saying that it tastes like profoundly fruity, but it's definitely got something there that reminds me of sort of a fruit kind of taste. There's also, I want to say maybe there's some vanilla. Maybe something, because like it almost gives off, and maybe it's just the sweetness of it, you know, but with that somewhat light fruity flavor, plus the sweetness, and again, you know, I'm almost feeling like there might be like something of a vanilla. It almost has like sort of a very mild, like sort of fruits and cream kind of aspect to it. At least that's what my brain is translating it as. But yeah, that's really unique. I don't think I've ever had a cola that tastes quite like this. Like I said, it definitely doesn't taste like Pepsi or Coke for sure. You know, but like I've had any number of off-brand colas and stuff like that, and you know, some of them try to emulate the big boys, some of them try to, you know, do their own thing. And I feel like in this case, they were definitely trying to do their own thing. I like it. It's a good soda. I mean, I will say this though. I'll say a couple things. I'll say a bunch of things. Let's be honest. I'm gonna just yammer on for a while. I do like it. I don't think for me personally it would ever be like a favorite cola though. It's one of those ones where like I'm glad I can get this like as just a singular cola because that's how I would want it. I don't think I would want to get it as like a 6-pack or anything. This is one of those ones I'd like to have in my fridge periodically because I like what they did with it. I like that it has its own personality and it kind of stands out a little bit, but it is still a thinner cola. Like I said, I don't feel like it has the same kind of level of reward that like a Coke or even a Pepsi does. And it is, again, it's more one note, you know. It's doing some interesting things, but that's really the only thing that it's bringing to it. There's not a lot beyond that, you know, again, somewhat maybe slightly fruits and cream kind of thing or whatever's going on. But I do still like it. If for no other reason than I like the personality that it has, you know, and the fact that, again, it's doing something unique. But 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Well, yeah, I mean, I basically said yes on occasion and sure-ish. So I pretty much already laid out why I would get it again. It would be a thing of, again, I would really really on a situation by situation basis. Like, if I'm going to go out to Rocket Fizz, I have certain items where there's a good chance, even if I've tried them, you know, any number of times, I'm probably going to get at least one of them if I buy a batch of soda. This would not be that. This would be one of those ones where, like, you know, maybe 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10, something like that. Because it has some good elements to it, but I just don't feel, like I said, it's not enough for me to really be something where I want to become a devotee of it. It's something where I like it as more of a niche sort of thing. So I do like it in that regard, but again, it's not something I'm going to leap at to go get more of. By that same token, if I'm recommending it, I think that if you're a soda connoisseur, absolutely give it a try. You know, I think that there's some interesting things there. You know, it isn't just like strictly a generic cola. It's got some personality to it. I do like that aspect. But by that same token, you know, have I had way better colas? Yeah. Again, I even think that, you know, like the more mainstream ones, again, just a more rewarding overall experience. But at the same time, I do think it's absolutely worth checking out. And if not, again, just going over there and, you know, having one around here or there. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have themselves a truly off-brand cola-tastic rest of your life. Because, I mean, look, man, yeah, it might not be quite as rewarding as the original stuff, but it's great that we have this, like, cool assortment of things that we can try. I mean, you know, I could spend the rest of my life just reviewing soda and just never run out of shit. Like, I just, you know, I think that's cool. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated, but What you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, do you have any off-brand sodas that you'd be interested in hearing or listen to me, yammer on about in my show? Because, at the end of the day, like, I'm always open up for suggestions and requests and stuff. I cannot promise you when I'll get to them, especially as the channel has grown. It went from being a thing when, like, I was, when I obviously was still a small channel, but when I was much, much smaller, I'd maybe get a request, like, maybe like 3 a year or some shit, if that. It wasn't a lot. Now, I wouldn't say I get a lot, but, like, I definitely get, in the double digits, so sometimes I forget stuff like that, but I do try to get the stuff in when I can. And especially when it comes to something like this, I would be really interested to, sort of, hear your take on it and stuff, because I'm always on the lookout. But anyway,